Hello everyone, my name is Venezia Sanchez and I'm going to be answering questions 2 and 3 for week 2's topic of sociological foundation. For question 2, I do believe everyone has the chance to become a billionaire, whether it's through pro athletics or creating their own business from scratch. With hard work, practice, determination, and time towards any potentially professional sport, there's a possibility of getting drafted. Even no matter how minimal the possibility is, there's still that chance for a bunch of different teams and a bunch of different sports. Also, there's a possibility of creating your own business because there's investors out there that look for hardworking, determined business majors and people who want to start a business, so they do have the opportunity. I do believe there's structural factors that influence likelihood because, for example, if you're born into a prominent family, connections are probably better in getting you to the place you need to get because it'll get you in the door, and then your talent would just have to take it from there. I believe anybody has the possibility of becoming a billionaire, whether it's a girl with a low-income family or a boy with both doctors, because it's up to the boy and how he wants to work and how he takes the pressure from those doctors. Their parents could be really on top of him about becoming a doctor as well, and he could crash under the pressure, or it will push him. He also has the opportunity to use his parents' knowledge and their connections, so he'll probably get in the door easier, but it all depends on him. And for the low-income family girl, being from low income, she probably sees her parents struggling and she doesn't want to be like that, or it could also break her and she could fall into bad habits. So depending on either of the social statuses, I believe they both have opportunities depending on how hard they work. I do feel that the low-income girl has to work a little harder because she has to get her foot in the door herself, whereas the boy could just get his connections and all he has to do is use his talent from there. For question 3, reading Teenage Wasteland, I don't believe much has changed from high school because for my high school and probably many other high schools, jocks are the hierarchy and most popular, and people that don't really fit in, they have their group, but they don't really seem to be the most popular, and I feel like that needs to stop. I don't think it really changed, besides we don't really have much hipsters now, but the lower class is usually the nerds, which shouldn't be the case. Differences from now, I feel like in there it said the brains were the top, and now there's more, the nerds are considered, oh, you're weird because you're too smart and that's all you care about, you don't play sport. So that's the only differences. I do think suicide is still a big problem because depression can take over somebody's life, and a lot of bullying goes on in schools still due to the social classes that are created by the world. So I do feel like depression is even big in athletes and people who have parents who are too strict on them, and the pressure gets to them too much and can cause them to think about suicide. To prevent suicide among teenagers, I think it should be noticed more, I think it should be talked about more, and I think that depression is often something that people don't think is a mental illness. They just think, oh, you're just being sad all the time, or just get over it, just be happy, find something you like to do. But a lot of times you need medication that can get you to your baseline to start getting better from there. I'm not saying medication is going to help you, but sometimes medication is necessary if you're really at a point in your life where you feel like you can't get back, so that the medication can trigger hormones or stop suicidal thoughts and all that. 2 questions I'd proposed is based off of the reading of the Teenage Wasteland, and I was thinking like what improvements should be made in the world, like how should they adjust their view that all, especially the parents in this reading, that all individuals need to be politically correct. They need to do this way, and only this way. They need to succeed in school and go to college. And off that, I also asked what determines that jocks and brains should be the elite class. Like, how did that start? Because it could have easily been the other way, where hipsters and burnouts are like elite, and jocks, people who play sports, are the losers. So I was wondering how that came about. And to try to answer Rissa Yee's question concerning online resources and guidance counselors to help you choose the college, I feel like the resources now are more focusing on aiding the students in seeing what profession they should follow. So that could limit their colleges. So if you're an English major, you obviously wouldn't go into a science-oriented school, and if you are good at science, you'll go into a science-oriented school, but picking your major is kind of different if you have such a broad aspect of, oh, I'm good at science, now what should I do? You could do so many things. So I feel like they should be more, like the career test should be more accurate, and maybe saying you'd probably be better as a doctor because you're good at critically thinking, or as a lab technician because you're better with hands-on stuff. So that ends my vlog, and I hope that suicide is more noticed so that it could be prevented, and I hope that social groups are less discriminated, and we could hopefully, instead of the jocks being the top class and the nerds being the lower class, we could come together. And because it could have been any other way, the nerds being the top class and the jocks being the lower class. So thank you for listening.